Hello. It's Friday, and that means I'm here. I'm chuckling because literally 15 minutes ago, I was blow drying my hair, and then I was putting on my lip gloss as the intro was playing. Y'all, I don't know where my Friday morning went to. I got up at the butt crack of 8 o'clock, and it's like I've been behind ever since. Whew, but I'm here now. I'm Carolyn, by the way, with Swan City Yarns for anyone who might be new or joining later. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me check out the comments. I want to see who all is here. Laura, she is the swan of the day. Dun, dun, dun. I'll be talking more about this in a minute. And let's see, who else do we have? Carol is here. Hey, Ann. 61 going up to a balmy 67. Actually, that sounds perfect. It's pretty chilly here today as well. I don't know what the high is, but it's beautiful weather, just gorgeous. All right. And then Carol, let's see, it's cold in Eastern Virginia. Oh, in the 30s. Oh, with a flake or two. Predicted today or Monday. Okay. Very nice. Star is here. Hey, Valera. 50 and sunny. That sounds like a good temperature to me. And it's cold in North Carolina, Star says. Oh, Linda is here. Hello, Linda. I'm glad you made it for a little bit. I think you said you had an appointment today. Yes. And Liz. Oh, it's so freaking cold. Oh, a miserable amount of snow. That's a lot of snow. I'm sorry. Be safe for sure. And Karen is here, and Shannon. Hello, Shannon, and Katrin, Carol Burdette. We've got a lot of Carols, don't we? I love that. Carol, Carolyn. It's like we're a little crew here. Should I shorten my name? I'll be Carol from now on. We can be our own trio. We have the Tulsa trio, and we can be the Carol trio. All right, let's see. Yes, you do have a title. Of course. You are the Queen Swan today. Has that title been given out? All right. Yes, she did do a good job. Let's talk about this. This is the glittering snowscape shawl that Laura sample knit for me. I feel a little guilty, wearing a knit that somebody else knit. I didn't knit it. So I'll take it apart, even though it looks so good. Let's see here. And this is a Stephen West pattern that she did out of the winter collection with all of the 5 colors. So you see down at the bottom there, that main color, obviously that's burnt butter. Right above that is cookie crumbs, that speckled colorway. And then I think I'm seeing Teal the cows come home, and then some dappled above that. And then somewhere or maybe that, yeah. And then way up here at the top, that is After Midnight. How gorgeous is that lace work? Woo! I guarantee you, if I had knit this puppy, there would be a mistake or two to be hiding in that section. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on and just act like it's my knit. And you know that this will be at my trunk shows coming up and any fiber festivals that I do. I'm so excited to showcase this particular knit. She did an amazing job, didn't she? All right. So, and she did this out of silky sock, 5 skeins. And I think I saw you posted or commented somewhere, Laura, that you had some extra yardage left. So you can definitely do it with 1 skein of each. Any fingering weight yarn would look good in this, but the silky sock is, you got to love that drape and that little bit of sheen that's there. Oh, hubba, hubba. All right, so let's see. I probably missed some people. If I miss saying hello, I apologize. Hey, Billy, I'm glad you're here. So, hey, Deb, glad you're here too. Yes, there were some leftovers. Okay, so you can do 1 skein of each and have some leftovers for some other scrappy projects. Very good. All right, so Happy New Year. I didn't even say it. Happy New Year. How was everybody's New Year's? Are y'all big partiers? We are not. I don't know if I mentioned. I did a reel on social media saying Happy New Year. And you may, if you noticed when it first came out, it was earlier in the evening because Bo and we tend to do an early Prosecco toast and then we go to bed. I don't even think Bo did a Prosecco toast. It was Morgan and I. We did a quick toast and that was it. Yeah, but I was awake at midnight because I woke up at 11:30 and was like, as I do sometimes. Actually, I get a lot of planning done at those moments when I'm laying there in bed with my eyes closed, trying to go back to sleep because my thoughts just start running amok. And then I start planning different things. In fact, that was one of those occasions was how I planned the Gal Pal book and yarn swap that you may have read about in the newsletter, which we'll talk more about that later. So going back to New Year's, do you all, let's talk about 2024. Does anybody have any challenges that they met for 2024, especially if it was yarn related, crochet, knit? Like how many projects did you finish? Some of y'all finished quite a bit. I know Lonnie posted the amount of yardage, holy cow, that she knit with. And I ended up doing 15 or 16 projects. No, it was 15. I got to 15 projects. My goal was 16. That was very disappointing. And I realized one of the projects I didn't even knit because I listed it or made a page for it. And it was actually a sock, a pair of socks that Morgan knit, but I wanted it as a sample page for Fleece Your Feet. So I didn't even knit one of them. So that is a goal that I have for 2025 is to get more knitting time in. So yeah, we'll see about that. So let's see. What did you all say? That was you too. Yes. Oh yeah. So Valera, I meant to message you about that. The closed captioning. Okay. Bo commented on it. Yeah. So I'm curious. Yeah, that I think, Bo, didn't you say that that's something, the closed captioning, they can turn on in their browser? But I have some additional comments for you about that, Valera. So I'll reach out to you. I meant to email you about that specifically and totally got sidetracked. Maybe if I got my butt out of bed earlier, I might have remembered today. Anyway, okay. So normal days, Liz said, you worked your regular schedule except for your birthday. That's right. You had a birthday. Happy birthday, Liz. I hope that was good. And quiet. Yes, Jana, Bo told me about the Great Buckeyes win. That was excellent. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right. So anyway, let me know in the comments if y'all did any, if you had any knitting goals for 2024 and whether you met them or not. I'm curious. All right. So moving on. Yes. Okay. So announcements. If you get the newsletter, you may have seen there's a form you can fill out if you would like to participate in the Gal Pal book and yarn swap. So that is kind of meant, I wanted to get it done before Valentine's Day. I just thought it was a cool idea. Basically, if you sign up by filling out the Google form, and I'll post it on social media as well, but it's in the newsletter, the link to the form, and you fill it out, and then that gets you signed up. So if you fill that out, then I will tell you who your pal is by Monday, the 13th of January. And then you have whatever is left of January. Is it 2 or 3 weeks? I think it's about 2.5 weeks. Anyway, almost 3 weeks to get out to your pal a 100-gram skein of hand-dyed yarn. Doesn't matter what the brand is, obviously. And you can pull something from your stash as long as it's unused. And then also you send them a book, not a new book, a used book. I don't know about y'all, but if there's a book that I really like, that I love, I tend to have more than one copy. So the goal, and if you don't have one, then you obviously are welcome to go buy a new book. But I don't want that to be the thing where, you know, we have to let me put my best face forward and buy a brand new book. Hey, maybe use the opportunity to give your used copy to someone else, and then you can go buy yourself a brand new copy. Whatever floats your boat. But the idea is that you pass on a well-loved book to someone else. Now, the forum does ask you what your favorite book genres are, but you don't have to give, like if someone says, oh, I only read romance novels. Well, you don't have to give them a romance novel. You can give them something that maybe introduces a little something else in there, something that they might like. Definitely. That's just in case you two share the same genre or something like that. The swap is not necessarily reciprocal. So you don't necessarily have the person who has you. So when I give you your name of your pal, that doesn't mean that they also have you. It might be someone else completely. So, and the third thing that you need to send them, so a skein of yarn, a book that you love, and then also a Valentine. It can be one of those traditional Valentines, like maybe one of your kids or grandkids has some leftover Valentines, and so you send a kooky little Valentine. You might want, if you like to hand make cards, you can hand make them a card, write them just a special note with words of affirmation, or you can buy a store-bought card, whatever you would like to do, whatever seems meaningful, based on it, because your pal might be somebody that you know, so you might want to buy them something different than you would get someone that you don't know, if that makes sense. So those three things, and it just has to be shipped by January 31st if you sign up. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. And oh, yes. If anybody is on TikTok, Bo has started a TikTok channel for Swan City Yarns. Just to let you know, we had to cover all our bases. All right. Another announcement I wanted to mention, I did not think to bring any with me. When you place your first order, I think, but I obviously probably missed some people, I put in a business card and then also a Swan City Yarn sticker. However, after that, I don't necessarily, it just depends on how big your order is and what's in your order. If it's a big order, I put in a packing list so that you can compare and make sure, okay, let me make sure I got everything that I ordered, and I'll write a note on that. Sometimes I have different business cards that I'll handwrite a note on the back. So, but a couple people have said, hey, I want some extra business cards because when people ask me about my knitting, I can hand them out. And are you kidding? Absolutely, you can have extra business cards. Let me know when you check out and say, put in some business cards. And if you want a sticker, if I haven't sent you a sticker, then by all means, tell me to send you a sticker and I will. So, because anything that I can do to help you get the word out about my yarn, I am on it. So just let me know. I'm happy to do that. Also, I posted this last week. We talked about yarn winding. So I did make yarn winding available, $1.50 a skein. Minis, I'm not going to charge you $1.50. So, but if you place an order, you just pop one of those in for every skein that you want. And then if you don't want every skein wound, make sure you put a note in the note section, which ones you do want wound and which ones you want me to leave alone. And I'll be happy to do that. And then of course the money we'll save that up and put it into a pot for a motorized skein winder. That'll be fun. All right. And then let's see what else. Okay. All right. We have a winner of our December fiber challenge. Did you all see the new fiber challenge, by the way? January's fiber challenge is posted. It is Selfish Stitching Month. And I have not yet, I meant to pick the prize for that challenge and let y'all know what it was today. But I got up at 8 o'clock and apparently I can't accomplish anything. So I don't have that prize picked yet, but I will post a picture of the prize for the Selfish Stitching challenge so that y'all know. All right, so this is the prize for December. So you get a skein of Swan White on fluffy lace, dum, 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 and then you get a skein of this beautiful spindle prick red on the sparkly, is that sparkly BK? Yeah. All right. So the winner is, and I went through the thread, but also just through the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group as well, and looked for anyone who had posted pictures of their projects that were applicable. So the winner is, dun, dun, dun. I mean, I hope I say your name right, Everdina. And then I think last name, I'm going to slaughter it, Vitilio. I'm sorry if that's wrong, Everdina. Anyway, so she won it with a picture of the Lilith shrug that she knit for a friend of hers, I believe she said. So Everdina is our winner. So this will be going out to her. Congratulations, Everdina. All right. And then I wanted to mention, don't forget, I did not put it in the newsletter, but the Fleece Your Feet project page giveaway, that's still going on. I would love to see pictures of your Fleece Your Feet. I actually have some, at least one to show you that Linda, I know, is knitting on. So yeah, so don't forget, I've already seen there are some project pages up in Ravelry, so I'm excited. I can't wait to see some pictures posted of those. So don't forget, here's the rules. Basically, put up a project page with pictures of your whips, whatever, and every project page gets one entry. And then if you have a completed project, and obviously I need pictures in there, those are helpful, then you get 2 entries for each of those. So yeah, so thank you all for your showing your love for that pattern and for making those project pages. That's huge. And I think I realized, I think I posted somewhere or said somewhere that it's a $30 gift card that you can win. But last week, I'm pretty sure on last week's live, I said $50. So I'm going to I'll stick with the $50 gift card. Then you have a chance to win. Let's see, we can get this right. Okay. All right. So I wanted to show y'all, I haven't really shown a lot of whips in the past. Where am I at? They've changed some things on me, but this week I did gather just a few whips that I saw that people were knitting with Swan City yarns. So I wanted to showcase those. Here's the first one, Drum Roll Indeed by Star. And she did, so this was a rustic red one hat pattern. I think Laura first posted that suggestion in the Swan City Stitchers. And she said, I don't think I've ever cast on and finished anything in 5 days. Me too. Same, Star, same. So she used the Let's Save Christmas color that way there. And I think the bottom is Out of the Mist that she did. That looks awesome. And I love that pom-pom. Very, very cool. All right, next up we have Anne and yet another one of her famous awesome socks. She did Berry on Silky Sock. And then she also used Springfest and Pretty in Pink. And those are awesome. Springfest is that variegated speckled colorway. It looks so good. Very nice. Beautiful work as always, Anne. You know I love your socks. All right. These are 2 socks that were done up in the Mary Grinchmas self-striping yarn. So on the left, that's Linda Frank's knit socks. They look so good. And then I love this also. Shannon did some crochet socks with the same set. How awesome is that? I just love it. Very cool. All right. And then Linda again, dun, dun, dun. She is making some Fleece Your Feet socks. Actually, she has quite a few pairs that she is prepped and ready to go with. This set is honeycomb on the fluffy sock and then swan white on the trusty sock, which I love. That honeycomb is kind of not a bright, hugely bright colorway, but it definitely the swan white definitely tones it down. And that's a great use of swan white is if you want to, and I don't know that Linda wanted to do that, but I just love that mellow look of the honeycomb with the swan white. She said she got a lot done due to fireworks and all that. Yeah, we had a scared puppy too. We took her into bed with us that night. She don't like it. She doesn't like thunder. She doesn't like heavy rain. You know, it's just that's not fun for them. So, and then this one I grabbed just today. This is another one, another pair of socks that Shannon has crocheted up. She is crocheting. In fact, I didn't grab one. I saw that she has another one in progress. It looks like she's using some colors from the winter collection. But this one is also, Let's Save Christmas was her main colorway. And then she paired it with Santa Claus, the red, and Gemini, the green. So very cool. I absolutely love them. So thank you all for sharing your whips. I appreciate that so much. Very cool. All right. So I did want to mention, let me back up to January's fiber challenge. So selfish stitching, you can post your pictures in the thread, totally fine, but you can also post it just within the group as a whole. If you don't mind, hashtag those as with hashtag selfish stitching, all one word, just because that way it'll help me. I want to make sure I don't miss any come the end of January. And I have noticed that if you post in the thread, it can limit who all sees it. So if you're wanting to showcase your work and get more people to have eyes on it, it helps to do a separate post. So that's completely up to you how you want to do it. You could post it in both places if you wanted, as a comment in the thread and then also as a post. Make sure you get some viewership there and a good chance to win for sure. All right, let me get out of here. Let's see. Hey, Faith is here. And then Julie is here also. She says, even oh, he'll wear pink. Yeah. Bo loves bright socks. In fact, he's getting a little greedy with the socks. I'm just saying. The other day, I have a pair of Mermaid Avenue socks. They're laying on the couch. I laid them down because I got caught up with other things. And he's like, who are these? And I'm like, those are mine. He's like, so anyway, he's getting a little greedy with the socks. I'm just telling you, I just happened to look over here and y'all, so another bad thing about me getting up so late. And I know obviously there's 4 hours or 5 hours between 8 and 1. So what was I doing that entire time? Well, I'll be honest, the first hour of my day, I don't know what happens. I think I catch up on social media. I go to the bathroom, brush my hair, brush my teeth, and then sometimes the dog has to be let out, make coffee. I didn't have to do that today. I think Bo did that. But I think I was doing something on social media. I don't know. Anyway, I had a call with a yarn shop owner, and then we went out to breakfast, which hardly ever happens, but we've gone out twice this week. Yeah, obviously Bo is, yeah, that doesn't happen when Bo he's had a lot of time off. I think that's what I blame it on. He's had a lot of time off, and so we've been going out to breakfast more. Anyway, so, but as a result of that, I opened up the box with Laura's shawl with not a lot of time to spare. But I just realized I had set this aside. Laura, is it okay if I open? She included this in the box. Is it okay if I open it? Should I wait and see what you comment? She's not going to send me something that I can't show y'all, right? I can open this shortly. Oh, except, well, I may not be able to open it. Let's see if I can get this ribbon aside. The package is so beautiful. I love it. It sounds like stitch markers. What does that say? Let me see. Pretty things inside. I bet there's pretty things inside. I don't doubt it. Yes, open. Okay. Very good. Laura said we can open it. Oh, Laura, look at this. Oh, you know exactly where that's going. Right on my keychain, baby. I love it so much. Speaking of swans, I have something coming. I hope to have it for you all in February. I can't wait. This just makes me so excited. Yes, I've got something in the works. So I'm hoping to turn it into something special. Anyway, thank you so much, Laura. That is just beautiful. I love that. Means so much to me. Oh, I can't wait. Put that on my keychain. Thank you. All right. Moving on. So let's talk about my whips, shall we? I have two. First of all, you may have seen I posted a picture of this. This is a bear paw sock. This is a DK weight pattern written by Andrea Mowry, but it's written for, you can either knit it with 1 DK skein of yarn, or you can use 2 fingering weight yarns and come up with, you use 2 separate colors and then you marl them together. And it is toe up. So I just happened to finish this week and got the ends woven in. It's a funky looking sock. If you saw I think I did a reel on social media. I mean, it kind of looks funky. It looks like it's this abnormally long foot, but it's not you saw when I put it on because I haven't actually blocked them. Just put them on the blocker so that they would have the proper shape. So anyway, I have to cast on the second sock. I intend to do that this weekend, and I'm hoping to get some good knitting time in, although we do have to take down Christmas decorations. I know we haven't taken them down yet. Normally we do it by, January 1st, but Bo has been a little out of commission. Did I tell you all that story? I don't think I told you all that story. So I'm going to tell him, honey, because I know he's on here. So it's been about 2 weeks ago. I took Samantha out in the morning, and 2 houses down. And so our backyard is not fenced in. I don't want it fenced in, honestly, because I love seeing the greenery, because out back behind our house, there's a drainage ditch, which is usually empty. And then there's a preserve, that is in back. It's just a very small wooded section, but it makes it kind of feel like we're out in the country, even though we're not. Well, and Samantha, being a small dog, she's very timid. She never runs off. She's not one of those little dogs who's adventurous, running off all the time. She stays in the yard, and she'll typically follow you if you go around the house to throw away her poop bag or whatever. She typically will follow. So I've not wanted the backyard fenced in. Well, 2 houses down from us, apparently the house is turned into a rental, and some new people have moved in with some big dogs, one of which is a pit bull. Now, prior to this occasion, I had seen some big dogs over there, like once in the morning. I think the guy had them out on a leash, and I waved, but I wasn't worried about it because, the dogs did not seem interested in us at all. They did their business. He took them back in. And other than that, I've not seen them. Well, on this particular morning, I'm standing at the sliding glass doors, the edge of the dye studio. That's where we go out to the backyard. And Samantha's out there doing her business. And I see from around the corner kind of like the face of a dog, but based on my prior experience, I wasn't really paying attention. Anyway, make a long story, try to make it a little shorter. One of the dogs, the pit bull, got off the leash and came running as Bo just happened to walk out and see. And I told Samantha, I said, "Come, Samantha," because I wanted her to hurry up and run to me. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think I was worried about, that's what it was, subconsciously or unconsciously. I wasn't worried about the dog because in the past they hadn't even seemed interested. Like, they didn't look like they were mean dogs. But Bo had no experience with these dogs. All he sees is and this is a big pit bull too. It wasn't a little one. It was pretty big. This big pit bull coming and running to Samantha. So just as fortunately, the dog was friendly, because Bo grabbed the dog and pushed the dog away. Doing that threw him off balance, and he's messed up his leg. We think he's pulled a muscle, maybe even done some nerve damage. Anyway, he's had some trouble. And I told him, "Listen, you're going to have to get back healed up, because I need you. We got trunk shows coming up. I mean, I can't run this business without you. So chop, chop." Anyway, the dog did end up being friendly, ran off, and I think is a sweet dog, but obviously we've not seen them since. So anyway, yeah. So Bo, So Bo has been, right, because the Christmas decorations haven't come down. So we have to do that this weekend. But other than that, I intend to get some knitting time in. So, you are King's Day people. I like that. Okay. Until Epiphany. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm not out. I'm not looking bad or anything. Looks like I'm intending to do that. I am. Yeah, I meant to do that for sure. I do like that. Yeah, that's a great tradition, actually, to leave it up. Honestly, we tend to take it down and when it's most convenient. So, when it fits into our schedule, honestly. And so this weekend is good. Yes, I know. Bo protected us. He did. So he did good. All right. So the other whip that I have, I think, did y'all see my picture? I told y'all last week that this was just going to be kind of a little bit of, not a side project, well, kind of like a side project, that I was only going to work on it as I had, here and there as I had time. It wasn't going to be my main focus, the broom sweater. But y'all, I couldn't put it down. So I have already split for the sleeves. And can you see where I changed color down there towards the bottom? Right after I split for the sleeves, I went ahead and changed the color. So up top is Nutmeg on Fluffy DK, which, by the way, I've restocked in the shop. So if you were looking for some Nutmeg on Fluffy DK, it's in there. And then right below that is Cinnamon Spice. So I'm loving this pattern. And honestly, at this point, I just tried it on last night and put a stitch marker down at the bottom because I need to do about 3 more inches. And then I'm going to do a set of side decreases. And then I'll try it on after that and decide if I'm going to do more or not. It fits me perfectly. So I love that. And I'm going to make it short sleeved. Okay. And you can see, I don't think I showed y'all this last week. I was able to put it back onto my cubiks. These are the knitprocubiks. Now these are not, I think I told y'all I haven't gotten the interchangeable set yet. So I cannot comment on joins or anything like that. But I will say this. When I was able to switch over to these from my ChowGoo needles, I was using the metal tips, and those are very sharp. And so you would think that they're very good for make one rights and make one lefts, especially with slippery yarn. But I found that it was a little bit tight. And I was curious when I started switching over to these cubiks, because the point is not overly sharp and it's wood. And so I was like, I wonder if these make ones are going to be trickier. And so when I initially switched over, I had the cubiks in my right hand and I was using the ChowGoo on the left because I was knitting onto the cubiks needles. In that particular row, I had to do increases. And I was like, oh, this is brutal, because my needle kept slipping against that metal. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be a pain. But I tell you what, as soon as I got all the stitches fully on the cubiks, the rest of my make ones were much easier. And I think it's because of the wood. It gave the right needle something to kind of work off of. And it was easier to get in there to the tight stitch and make those increases. Whereas the metal tips, they just kind of wanted to slide off of. So I will say that for these cubiks, even though they don't have the pointy tip because y'all know I'm a little snobby about my ChowGoo needles. Like, I'm a little like, what are you using? Those aren't ChowGoo. I don't know. So I have to say, I was very pleasantly surprised with these needles. And I'm sold. I definitely want a pair of they're just nice to knit with. They're very lightweight. And the ChowGoo needles are lightweight too. I don't know. It's fun. It's different. The square shape. I like everything about them. So again, I don't know about the joins or any. I have to wait until I get my first interchangeable set to comment on that. But in the meantime, I'm loving it. It's funny. The first part went quickly, but I've noticed that since I've split for the sleeves, it seems like it slowed down a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But all right. So, and then there's a new project that I want to start, and y'all will have to help me. But well, actually, we'll talk about that now. So, all right, Faith, I have started to use, is it likey? Is that how we pronounce that? Did I say that right? I've admired the look of their needles. I will say that. I've started to use those wooden hooks and needles, and you love. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind, because maybe the same thing about. Okay, so Laura, you use the same brand on needles when you use. Okay, when you work with the fluffy DK. Yeah, that's true, Kim. We do not bounce. Yeah, he definitely. I get that. Yes. All right. Yes, Karen, you need someone who's visiting the UK to squeeze some Swan City yarn. We ship to the UK, just so you know. And you do some great designs, Karen. We should chat. Oh, Ontario, Diane, it's cold and windy and snowy. Oh, that actually sounds pretty good right about now. I mean, I'd have to put on all my knits, of course, but yeah. Anyway, all right. So I posted this, y'all probably saw. So Stephen West, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that he did this. I saw that he was always releasing sock patterns, but I didn't know that he releases like a year of socks. So I don't know how long he's been doing that, but it's kind of like basically you pay in advance, and then every month you get a new sock pattern. And the post that I saw about it actually showed these socks. And I didn't know if this was a new sock or, an old pattern, and he was just using it to promote the new set. But I was like, I really like that. I think I'm going to buy it, because it wasn't overly expensive. I don't remember what I paid for it. There was a discount if you bought it early. So I went ahead and bought it. And then lo and behold, January 1st, I think, the very first pattern got sent to my inbox. And here it is. And it is these, oops, sorry, I'm changing the focus. It is these socks that I so admired, called Stripestep Socks. And someone pointed out that sometimes, Liz, I think, we love his patterns. Sometimes they're a little over the top. And he has definitely had some sock patterns that I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. I'm just not sure it's something that I want to knit. So anyway, I definitely want to knit these. And Bo has already commandeered the pattern. So Morgan and I were talking about it, and she picked out, I said, I need some combinations to choose from. So she picked out a bunch. I've actually narrowed it down to 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count 4 sock sets. These are all on Trusty Sock. So the first one she suggested is Swan White and I Will. So I Will is one that's not in the shop online. It's just one that I bring to trunk shows. I think I had it left over somewhere. And so, but she said, well, that would make this was actually a colorway that I did for Knit and Stitch a while ago, just to let you know where it comes from. Anyway, she said, that's a nice beachy theme. And I was like, yeah, that is a nice beachy theme. I don't know that that's the one I want to go for, but y'all let me know what you think. This is the one. Bo liked this one because he wants a pair of denim blue socks. So this is a Dahlia on Trusty Sock with Junho. I actually thought maybe a Dahlia and Swan White, but Morgan said, well, no, we already have Swan. So I don't know. I have to ask Bo which one he likes, because these will probably end up being socks for him. But what do y'all think? Do you like that? And then now, since Bo likes bright socks, we could also do this one, this combo. So this is Berry on Trusty Sock. Y'all know that one. And then Fuzzy Navel. And this is a popular combination. I have wanted to do something in this combination ever since Cindy Titus did a shawl a long time ago in this combination. And I was like, oh, I need to make something. So, and Bo does like bright socks. So that might be a winner as well. Now, if I were knitting these socks for myself, this is the combo that I would go for. Look at this. Sweet cherry pie over here on the right. What's on my right? Is it on y'all's right? I think it should be on your right. And then on the left is cookie crumbs. I love that. And it's not a high contrast, but I don't care. I love that. I think in those stripes in the pattern, that would totally work. So I may have to set that aside and make myself, if not, even not that pattern, just another pattern. I might have to use this. So what do y'all think? Yeah, see, Carol, Great minds. OMG, yes. Sweet cherry pie and cookie crumbs. I love it. Yeah, that is. And then Carol, love the blue. For those who aren't sock makers, try a DK pair, all the difference. And that's true. So squishy. Yeah. Yeah. DK socks they are definitely a little squishier, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. Katrin says the berry combo. Kim likes 1 and 2. So that would be the Adalia and then the beachy set as Morgan called it. And then Jana, I wish I liked to knit socks. So I'm curious, what is it that keeps you from knitting them? You just don't like them? I wonder, and you've probably had people tell you, because that's the thing about socks. There's so many different ways to knit them. Like you can do 2 at a time with magic loop, 1 at a time with magic loop. You can do the shorties. You can do, some people use the 2 sets of needles. I still would like to learn that one where it's not magic loop, but you use 2 sets of long needles and it keeps you from having to use the shorties. I'm still comfortable with the shorties. Maybe not when I get older and get more arthritic. I don't know. I may have to give up my shorties at some point. But even then, there's toe up, cuff down. Like there's so many different ways to make socks. So I feel like this is just the sock knitter in me. Everyone should be able to find some sock that they can make. Just because I want everyone to love making socks as much as I do. And I tell you what, there is nothing like wearing hand knit socks. Even if you're one of those people who is like, oh, I'm always hot, I can't wear socks. Sometimes it gets cold and the floors are cold. And I tell you what, there is nothing cozier than a pair of hand knit socks. Oh, hubba hubba. All right. Anyway, so I hope to cast on a pair of those. And so these are cuff down as well. And actually something just occurred to me at the last minute. So let's segue into the shop update. So the 2 big things for the shop update. Well, the first big announcement is that Sparkly Sock is back. I got some more in stock. And so it was in the middle of the week. So I only had time to dye up 2 fun sets. And I don't know how well the sparkles are showing up, but that 10% Stellina, I tell you what, it looks like it's just floating on top. It's so pretty. So anyway, this one here is called Mad About You is the main color. It's got pinks, oranges, and purples in it. And I paired it with a lilac mini and a mandarin mini. So that's available. And it occurred to me, well, let me show you what the other one is as well. So the second one is called First. I think I labeled these wrong, y'all. That's wrong. This is Mad About You. Okay, I got to change the labels on these. This is Mad About You. Sorry. And this is First Love. I must have put those down wrong. I tell you, I'm losing it. Anyway, so this is Mad About You. Sorry. Mad About You actually has a very light pink base, but it pretty much got overridden with the red, that bright red and orange speckles. So it looks primarily red and orange. And then I paired it with Everything Nice and lilac. And I especially like this colorway because of that. See that contrast? Like how good would that look? I think with the yardage requirements. So I'm going to do size 2, by the way, because they use a size 1 needle and a size 2 is 60 stitches cast on, which is, I can do anywhere between a 56 and a 64 cast on. 64 is the most I'll go for me. Oh, that's right. I'm making these for Bo. I'll have to look at the yardage requirement. So he would be, I suspect, see, it's like the 2 sides of my brain are thinking different things because I was looking at the size I would make for me, and yet I'm saying I'm going to knit it for him. So he would be size 3. That's a 72 stitch cast on. Yep, with a size 1 needle. That's definitely those size. So let me look at the requirements. So for a size 3, the main color is 335 yards, and the contrast color would be 130. So that means 65 yards for each sock. So guess what? I could totally do this. I could use 1 mini on one sock and the other mini on the other sock. How about that? What do you think, honey? Are you still on here? Yeah, see, Bo says that would work. So I might be taking one of these once I get it labeled properly. And oy vey. Anyway, they're listed properly on the website, I promise. So whatever, if you buy one on the website, I will send you the correct one. So, but anyway, so I might be casting that on for Bo because I need a sample in the sparkly sock, right? I got to have a sample. And yeah. So anyway, so those, speaking of a shop update, those are in the shop and I'll get some more dyed up. I've got to get some stuff dyed up for Distaff Day, which is, by the way, next weekend. So if you're local, I hope to see you. And then the weekend after that is my trunk show at Knit and Stitch Boutique down in Cocoa. So I hope to see a lot of people there as well. So a couple, oh, and I didn't, my brain, did y'all see this behind me? You probably commented on it and I totally missed the comments. So this is one yarn wall. There will be another one over there, which is not complete. And then this blank wall back here will also have yarn, a grid wall on it, where Bo is waiting for more grid wall hooks so that he can get them hung. And then I'll put up the rest of the yarn. And I promised the Dying to Knit people that I would show them first, but I haven't done it yet, y'all, because the room is not complete. So did y'all notice the walls, by the way? Bo and I painted in here last weekend. It was brutal. Bo said, "This is the last ceiling that I will ever paint." Yeah, it was tough. My arms were hurting because he didn't do the whole thing himself. I helped too, but it was like my arms were not strong enough. And I work out with weights, but it was like I could hardly get enough coverage down. And, it was either stand back and my arms were hurting or go right below it, paint splattering all over me and my neck was hurting. It was like, which pain do you want? You want pain in your arms, pain in your neck? Take your pick. Anyway, we did it on Saturday, all in one day. Whew. And yeah, Bo with his bum leg and everything. So I don't know if y'all can tell. Bo says the camera still has a little bit of a yellow cast. That's the camera, not the room, because we did a stark white paint color. So yeah. Anyway, Jana, you won't get to go to Distaff Day. You'll be in Tampa. I think I saw that. Yes, but you'll be at the trunk show. Very good. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and Valera has some socks that you're getting ready to post. I like that. And then let's see. Did y'all comment about your socks? Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, Liz likes the berry combo. That is a good one. Yep. Okay. Number 4, Laura likes. Yeah, that's my favorite too, Laura. I know. And then Bo wants some Grinchmas socks. I'm sorry, honey. Those got sold out. And yeah. Which, by the way, I need to order some more yarn because I actually had a Valentine's colorway that I wanted to do self-striping on. We'll see if I get that done. Karen says mosaic socks look complicated but are easy too. Yeah, I think I've done a mosaic pair before. It's been a while. And Carol, you don't have to pick up. Yes, thank you. You don't have to pick up stitches with a short row heel. That looks like a heel flap to me on this particular one, but I love the Fleagle heel that I'm doing on the bear paw socks. I will definitely be doing more toe up in the future. And Cindy Harrison was kind enough she sent me the links to 2 toe up socks that, yep, heel flap that I put in my library that I can try in the future with different heels, but still. So I could always put in a Fleagle heel. I don't know if I have enough experience to do that. Might need to do a couple more Fleagle heels before I start adapting patterns. All right, Faith. Yep, 2 at a time socks. Yep. Liz does not like wearing socks, mittens, or hats, and so you avoid knitting them because I get that. That makes sense. Yes, Shannon, I want to learn to knit socks learn to knit just so I can knit socks because they're my favorite. Yeah, I agree. Well, and you have been a sock crocheting queen yourself. And so, Anne, you use 2 sets of needles for your socks. Is there a video tutorial that you would recommend? Like, how did you learn? I'm just curious. And then Faith, you can't, okay, you cannot wear hand knit socks. Okay, okay. Yeah, Valera, I'm learning they're only knit socks. I know. I tell you, once you get some hand knit socks, it's hard to go back. Oh, Belschnickel. I cannot wait to see the Belschnickel sparkly socks, Valera. That's awesome. Yes. And Lonnie is heading. She had a work meeting. Oh, hey, Lonnie. How are you? Good to see you. I will be okay. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you, Julie. The yarn wall looks nice. Bo did good, didn't he? Well, I hung the yarn. And so speaking of, I didn't finish the shop update. So I didn't put this in the new, you took a class, Anne. Okay, thank you for answering that. Okay. So speaking of other things that have been updated. Oh, I got to give you all a sneak peek of Mocha Mousse. All right. So a couple other things. So we were talking about Fluffy DK. I updated Swan Song on several bases. Let's see, Trusty Sock, Fluffy Lace, and Fluffy DK. So if you wanted some Swan Song, then that is back in the shop. I did send out, so if you pre-ordered No Limits, I've gotten almost all of those sent out. I think there's only one order waiting to, I've got to dye up another pot, and then I'll be caught up on those. I did just put, there is one skein, the last I saw today, of No Limits back on Trusty Sock. So, because otherwise all the fingering weight bases had sold out. But when I dyed the Trusty Sock, I dyed an extra. So there is one more No Limits on Trusty Sock, or there was. And, okay, are y'all ready? Oh, so what else? Let me, before I show you that. So on Fluffy Lace, I updated, I think, Berry. I told you Swan Song already. So I'm looking back because that's what's on the part of what's on the yarn wall up there. So anyway, okay. I think that's the brunt of it. So Mocha Mousse. Okay. So if you ordered it and you don't want to see it, then turn down your volume and close your eyes for a few minutes, or, you know, go to a different screen, something, because here we go. So Mocha Mousse, if you remember, was the Pantone color of the year. And so I ended up dyeing it with using vinegar rather than citric acid because of the browns. Some of the browns that I have definitely come out differently. If you watch the lives, if you've been watching the lives, you saw a couple weeks ago where I showed a brown that came out totally different. It's the same brown that actually makes Purple Leaf Plum, that colorway, if I use citric acid. But if I use vinegar, it comes out brown. So anyway, so here we go in the skein. Dun, dun, dun. So I used 3 different browns. Here we have the deep dark brown, and then more of a mocha brown. And then I let it kind of come over. There was a section of bare yarn that I let it come over, and so that you get some of that creaminess that you might have seen. I think I showed the video, or I posted the video of what they had done. So this is Mocha Mousse in all its glory. I have one, what did I do with the cuff? I have one extra skein on Trusty Sock and one extra skein that I dyed up. I had room in the pots that I dyed up on Fluffy Sock. So here it is in Fluffy Sock. The brown just got distributed a little bit differently when Morgan was twisting it up, but there's that deep dark brown, the mocha, oh, that lusciousness. And I find it interesting the way colors come out on those of you that got Fluffy DK. I wish I had dyed up an extra one of those, because the browns came out just a tiny bit differently on those. It's gorgeous. And there's something about the Fluffy DK that makes the dyes really break, even when I don't intend for them to break. it's amazing. I love the depth of color that I get on Fluffy DK. So I hope that you all love it too, those of you who ordered it. But anyway, so these are not in the shop, the 2 extra skeins. They'll go in probably next week, but I didn't want anybody who had pre-ordered the mystery colorway to see it on the website and be like, what? Wait a minute. But those went out earlier this week, so you should have already gotten your shipping notice. If you didn't, let me know, because I got problems. Got serious problems going on. So yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't, so one thing I did want to show y'all, maybe you don't care. When I was talking about this, so one thing I wanted to point out, and some of you all already do this, I know. So because I told y'all I tried this on last night, because these are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Interchangeable. I could not obviously take off the needle head itself in order and put on an extension cable to try it on. So I used these, you may know them as knit extension cords, barber cords, whatever. I have used these in the past, but the way that I did it, it came off my needle and then I had some loose stitches. And so at the time I was very disappointed in these. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything, but I don't like it. Well, out of necessity, I needed to use these. It was either that or put some stitches on a holder. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. You know, it's that whole thing about being lazy. Yeah, I just want to sit and knit. Can I just sit and knit? What's the fastest way? So anyway, out of necessity, I went and I hooked one of these on last night and I slid some stitches and I was able to get it to work. I did only slide stitches off of one needle. I didn't connect both ends of this to both needles because I didn't want to, if it did pop off a needle like it did the last time when I was probably careless, I didn't want to have loose stitches on both ends. So I only did it. I connected this to one needle and then, you know, loosely pushed some stitches over. And it did not pop off. I did notice that it was a little bit trickier getting the needles off of here back on to the cubiks needles. But what I did was the stitches that were on, as they were on here, I just pushed them all down rather than trying to like do it one at a time. I noticed that if I would kind of push them all down, it was easier to get those stitches back onto here. Anyway, if you've been thinking, some of you have already used these, you know them, you love them, you don't need my advice. But if you're someone who has been like, well, I don't know if I need them or if I want to try them, how well do they work? They do work if you use them properly, if you're not careless. And I didn't lose any stitches. Now, it is possible, you know, the last time I used them, I did use them with Chow-Goo, which is a metal needle. So maybe some of y'all have had experience. Maybe it just was easier to keep it attached to the needle because these needles are wood. I don't know. That's something I'll have to try in the future. And of course, now my lid doesn't want to go back on, but I'll get it back on there. Anyway, so I saw that and was like, oh, I forgot to tell you all that. So if you have not used those and you're thinking about it, then by all means. Okay. So, oh, good. I'm glad you all like it. Karen, might need to cast on a new pair of socks. I know. We always need to have socks on the needles. Laura, I learned from my mom. From the two. Okay. So Debbie, I didn't know Debbie McComber had knitting patterns. Are we talking about the author, Debbie? Interesting. So that was where you learned how to use the 2 needles. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, Valeria, you need some coordinating minis. Yes, you do. Let's see. Well, Swan White obviously would look okay, but I might need to dye up some browns. I'm going to think about that. Unless you want some high contrast. Ooh, a nice beachy blue like buttons. Depends on what you're looking for. We'll have to have a chat. All right. What else? Oh, let's see. Sorry. the comments moved. And so let's see, Faith, I posted a pattern name for socks on 2 circulars. Okay, thank you, Faith. I appreciate it. And then Kim, it depends on the size of your cord. Yeah, that can obviously make a difference. You're talking about the knit extension cords. I can see that. Yeah, it's possible that I just didn't use the correct one. I do have 3 sizes in here. I assume that the smallest one it would be for like fingering size needles, and then DK is the greenish one, and then the purple would be for larger, like worsted maybe, but I don't know because I haven't actually pulled that one out and looked at it. So, okay. Lonnie says, Debbie McCormer's Blossom Street series is centered around a yarn shop and her owner and various customers in a beginning knit class. Okay. I like that. And then Faith, Easy Socks on Circular Needles by Kalamazoo Knit. So she gives you a tutorial. Is that in the pattern, I'm guessing? All right. So, oh, it's an old pattern, Laura says. Okay, from Debbie McCormer. All righty, I like it. It's her pattern books with Leisure Arts. Interesting. Does she still? I don't know. I know obviously that Debbie McCormer is an author, and I know I've read some of her books, but it's been a while. Is she still writing? I'm curious. Okay, if you're in the Dying to Knit group, I thank you, Karen, for reminding me that I did not set up events. So our very first Dying to Knit in the new Retro Rewind series is next week. And yes, I'll be doing a live in the group to talk about it. But the picture of the book, Go Set a Watchman, that will actually be the inspiration for our very first colorway. Last night, as I was just dozing off, I realized what I wanted to do in terms of dye color. So of course I had to get up and go out to the dye studio and write down my notes right then. And then I was wide awake again for another 30 minutes. But hey, I got to read more. So it's a win-win, right? All right, everybody. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I hope to see your name in the Gal Pal book exchange. I will be going over those. And one of the things that I put on the form is if you're willing to send to Canada. We do have some Canadian people. So if you're willing to send, that would be awesome. And yeah, I will be joining as well. So, I might have to do some sort of like random, because that's going to be weird. Like, oh, Carolyn chose this person to be her partner. You know what I think I'll do is probably put down the list of names, and then I'll have Bo do like pick a random number, or I'll just do a random number generator. That's what I normally do. That's probably that way. Yeah, I won't show favorites. All right, everybody. If I forgot something, I'll post it. I have lots of things to post anyway and tell you all about. So I hope that you're having a good start to your year. I hope that it's starting strong. Just remember, yes, Lonnie, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. Have Bo or Morgan pick. And yeah, if there's something that you're wanting to do this year, do it. Don't let the naysayers hold you back. You don't need them. We don't need them. We got this. All right, everybody. Hey, have a great weekend. Yeah, I'll see you in the Facebook group, one of the Facebook groups on social media, and I will definitely see you back here next year. Well, next year too, I'll be here, but next week at 1 o'clock. All right. Take care of yourselves and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.